humbled and excited to have an opportunity to speak to Juan Algarin, who's been a part of this program for the better part of around 4 months. And Juan came to me, in the midst of a tough moment, a difficult moment in his career. And I wouldn't say it was on a downward spiral, but I would say that it needed some enhancing. And so he and I have had an opportunity to work together with the Altered State Blueprint. And so without further ado, I want to welcome Juan Algarin.
Hi, how are you? Listen, Tony, thanks again. I mean, every opportunity I can to, every time I see your face or we talk on the phone or the email updates, I always say thank you and I'm grateful for you and the program. So again, I just wanted to convey that again. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm happy to do this. I was in a really, the word stuck can mean so many things, and I was really stuck. Yeah. Creatively, emotionally, physically, everything, and I'm just happy that, I was able to connect with you through a recommendation of a friend and who's also in the program. Mm-hmm. And it's just changed my life completely. Thank you.
Excellent. Juan, when you talk about, changing your life, I know that in I guess when you first came in, I always try to qualify the stage that you came in. 1 to 10, where would you say that you were at when you first came in terms of how you were feeling? You talked about the emotional and the physical, two critical components of what we try to do here and what we try to coach to. What would you say you came in at?
I'm from 1 to 10. I mean, and if I had to say it on day one, I was at a 1 or 2. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I had no idea. I thought that's it. That's what life was. And at a certain age, you're no longer creative, or you're no longer physical. You're no longer can run. Even though these things I know are not true in my head, it was like, okay, I'm done. Let me start preparing to die, in essence, in my late 40s. That's not good.
Yeah. And it's we often talk about that limited thinking or that thinking that sometimes is not true, but you make it true. When you look at the profile of your work, obviously you've been in photography, one of the, I guess, better known, most reputable photographers in the industry, with exposure to a lot of, the great magazines, GQ, Marie Claire, all of the ones that you do. Where you were to where you're at now, what's been the biggest change for you when you look at the 4 categories of the program? What's helped you really more from a 2, and we'll get into where you're at right now, but what's really helped you the most?
The mindset. I mean, just funny when you were mentioning the top tier jobs that I've done, it felt for a long time like that wasn't me. Like I didn't do those things. But I know that my mindset when I was younger, I was hungry and focused, laser focused to be a success and get out of the situation where I was. And I lost that mindset. And that's why, I think that's your number 1 is mindset. Change that and you can change everything.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Juan, when you look at how you approach your week, I think it's important. I think one of the things that you and I have talked about is really trying to control your day as much as you can. And that goes with how you start your day. Talk to me a little bit about how we've agreed to structure your day in a certain way. And it starts with, obviously the lesson as well as the worksheets that tie into the lesson. Give me a little visibility to your life with respect to that.
Well, it starts with, the affirmations and also just being grateful, waking up and being grateful and counting your blessings and the affirmations, that's what's changed everything for me, because it sets your day, right? Mm-hmm. You don't wake up and start looking at the news and look at bad stuff or think about mistakes. I just go right into the affirmations, quick meditation, 20-minute meditation if I can. The affirmations help me, break away from self-limiting thoughts and patterns, right? It helps me plan out okay, what am I going to do today in terms of my habits to change from my old habits, and or obviously I'm already at a stage now where I'm no longer doing the bad things, but I still think about them. And I still
Hmm.
say to myself, hey, Juan, today you're not going to not work out. You're not going to eat cake. You know what I mean? Just to eat it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
not anybody's
Yep.
birthday. You know,
Yep.
I was eating cake like it was someone's birthday every day.
That's funny.
Yeah. Just again, just reaffirming that positive attitude, and like, you know, and really kind of grinding up that grit, right? Like you kind of have to
Hmm.
pump. With this program has helped me like pump myself up to like to have more grit than possible. You know, it's like, you know, like
Hmm.
energizer, like an energizer bunny. That's kind of like how I start my, before I even get out of my room after the meditation. It's just I want to feel like I'm just bursting out, and I'm not going to go back to bed until tonight late. You know, before it was like, oh, I can't wait for a nap. You know,
Hmm.
so it's just changed everything.
Juan, you and I share similar paths, right? I've been in recovery for a number of years. You're now embracing your walk in recovery, which is commendable. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How has this program helped you continue the path towards recovery? And you know, from the conversations that we've had, the platform that we've built, for me, recovery is very broad. I just so happen to be recovered from, drugs and alcohol, which is probably, yours is with alcohol. But I have people that are recovering from PTSD and or anxiety or under depression or just, self-limiting thoughts. So that's the reason why the word recovery is so pertinent, and it really fits everybody because we're all recovering from something. Talk to me a little bit about how this program has helped you in your recovery from, that crutch that you used for many years.
Well, first of all, like you said it perfectly. I mean, I thought, you know, that this program wasn't going to work in the beginning. You know, obviously you're negative about everything because it
Hmm.
wasn't just an alcohol. Like, you know, I thought it was just, I didn't know it was everything because
Hmm.
you're right. I mean, I was drinking every single day, but that was just one of the crutches I used. I had self-limiting thoughts. I had low self-esteem. I
Hmm.
had PTSD from God knows what when I was dropped on my head when I was 10. You never know. It's like we all come with like all these things that have happened to us, and the fact that we don't know how to cope with them
Yeah.
is crazy. Like I can't wait for you to come out with a kid's version of this, like that you can
Hmm.
start teaching kids at 10, 9, 10, 11 these things,
Hmm.
this perfect blueprint. Because if I had this at 9, 10, 11, I mean, watch out, Jeff Bezos. I mean, there's no, I mean, this is like you step by step of how to live your life. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It really
You know,
is. You got to do a kid's version.
well, that's, we will definitely, that is definitely part of how we're going to continue to build more products and services. I think that that's an area that there is a lot of opportunity, not from a monetary standpoint, but more from an opportunity to help children, especially in this day and age where the addictions to social media are really impacting the lives of our younger population, younger generation. Juan, when you look at even the movement category, I know that you and I talked about, getting you moving again. You've now shed some weight. You've now adopted exercise into your life. You now embrace this pillar, this category within Altered State. How important has that been for you and your recovery, and even on the journey that you're on with Altered State?
Again, I think everything correlates to the mindset, right? You know, and my mindset wasn't good because I wasn't moving my body, you know, and it was just like, I think about it and I get chills, just like the idea of not moving and my brain just sitting there sedated is just crazy.
Mm.
And I think another great thing that you did well was, you know, for someone like a procrastinator like me, or someone that's, you know, physically a lazy person, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you never said, hey, Juan, let's do 20 push-ups here, 10 push-ups today, and then run from here to here, like first day one. You're like, just go walk a little bit. And like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you say no to go walk a little bit? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How do you
Mm-hmm.
say no to a 5-minute walk, a 10-minute walk, just to get
Mm-hmm.
out? You know, so it was like that part was great. You didn't throw a big, like, oh, you know, get some barbells and join a gym. And it
Yeah.
wasn't that. It was like the slow, like, move your body. You know, in those 5-minute walk, I was like, man, this is 5 minutes, but I'm tired or whatever. And the more I walk and the more I walk, and the walk started to turn into a slow jog, a very slow jog, and then a walk for a long time.
Great.
For a whole week, and then the jogs got a little longer and a little longer, and I still mix. I'm still like in the mixing of jogging and walking.
Yeah.
But when I'm done with that, I take a shower and I just feel like creative, and I feel like, wow, things are good. It's like, it's that happy pill. It's that shot of tequila that would give me that 5-minute high. The rest was horrible, but like that 5-minute high, I'm getting like for a good whole day, because
excellent.
It's the runner's high, but it's also feeding into everything else. Everything is positive. It doesn't matter if, what happens in that day.
Yeah, and one of the things, the reason why I built movement into the plan is because it obviously increases your endorphins, which ultimately improve the way you feel about yourself. So that self-confidence. And then obviously it's a motivational tool to have you continue on that path. When you and I first started working, there was a little bit of trepidation, a little bit of reluctance, it's not that you didn't think it was going to work, but there was a little bit of reluctance. Obviously it's an investment. Some would say, it's a considerable investment. I think it's an investment in you. As a result of the investment, how has that impacted not only the personal things that you're talking about, but how has it impacted your business and how you've been able to, from what you've told me and all the great things that you're sharing, how have you been able to get more clients as a result of your attitude, your grit, your ability to overcome obstacles? And we talked about this in the last working session. It's funny how maybe the reluctance in day one to invest X number of dollars, now you're at sevenfold, the investment, right? So you've been able to recuperate that investment 7 times. So just kudos to you and all the hard work. What would you say to people that are basically, similar paths, right? I want to do this. It may be obviously a little bit, outside of what I think. The thing is that you think outside of what you think you deserve, but yet you take the plunge and you actually invest it. What would you say to those people?
It wasn't out of what I deserved. It was out of my comfort zone, right? But meanwhile, that's what got me here anyway. Like, the way I became successful in the first place was, I would intern at photography studios, and I would mop the floors without even being asked. I would do all these things that were out of my comfort zone, and struggled. So when it came down to the money, I thought to myself, okay, well, I know this has got to work, because I think what I'm trying to say is that, if you build me right now a secret, if I got something in the mail that you wanted the same amount again, I'd give it to you, because I've gotten it like 10-fold, 15-fold. I mean, and not just in actual revenue, but just in the way I feel. Like, I feel like $1 million. So why not give you a little bit to feel like, if you have it, for 10 cents, you can feel like $1 million. Why not do it?
Yeah.
Excellent. I have no regrets whatsoever. And I mean, no one will. It's a blueprint on how to live your life. What can you pay for that? I think it was too cheap, to be honest. All right, let me keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Juan, can't thank you enough. I'm grateful. I often tell all of my clients that, the learning is kind of symbiotic. It reciprocates. I learn from my clients as much as they learn from me. It's an honor and a pleasure to have an opportunity to work with you. You're just an individual that just worked the plan. And when you work the plan, the results follow you. It's just like success, right? Success follows you when you're doing all the right things. So kudos to you, best wishes. We don't discharge any of our clients. So you'll be forever a member of the alteredSTATE family. But I wanted to thank you for your time and your consideration for this testimonial.
Well, that's what makes the value even more. I can't get past it. Again, I wish I had this when like 15, 20 years ago, so thank you for everything you do. You're doing God's work.
Thank you.
I don't know what else to say. I tell it, I even have my hat that you sent me. Thank you. I wear it everywhere. Welcome. People ask me what the alteredSTATE is, and I explain to them. It's awesome, man. Thanks again.
Thank you, Juan. Have a good day.
You too, buddy. Thank you.